and welcome back. We are back with another speed build, and funny enough, this is actually a speed build to the house directly next to our last speed build, so it's kind of funny that they kind of go together. It totally was intentional, and it wasn't by accident. But yeah, so the reason why one of the walls was completely blank on the last speed build was because I knew this house was going to go there, and this house was a pain in the ass, and for as small as it took a long time, and mainly because of this front entrance, I knew I wanted something super specific. I wanted a walk-up staircase that walked up to a balcony, but the balcony, I wanted it to be slightly bigger because I knew that in one of my upcoming streams I was going to be decorating around the town, so I actually wanted there to be a space for me to put random porch junk and everything like that. Actually, that stream, I believe, was my most recent stream that I actually just filmed, and I enjoyed it so much. And those decorating streams, I always enjoy a lot. I know that they're not the most entertaining. I feel like it's a lot of conversation, which is bad, but there's not as much to watch if you're not participating in the conversation. But I love adding all the little quirks and lore to each of the houses, and I'm giving them personalities. We also placed some of our villagers in some of the houses the stream before that, so it's really starting to come to life instead of just being just a still build, which I'm super excited about. And I hope that it comes together how I'm wanting, and I'm gonna start doing some more builds, because I kind of did these two builds, paused, edited, filmed other stuff, and now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, it's kind of time to start doing another one. I'm also having the building itch, as some of you might know can be very strong. So also, I wanted to point out, I feel like all of these speed builds are at night. Totally not intentional, but we are on a public server, so I can't just make it day all the time, because some of these builds, there were other people on, they were doing stuff, and it interrupts the normal gameplay, so it's a little bit odd, which I'm sorry about. And I think with my next ones, I'm going to try and be better with at least lighting it up. But I also think that it's kind of cool when it's filmed at night, because as you can see here in the background, you can see all my other builds, and I think that they're just illuminated nicely. I think also with the shaders and lights shining through the windows, it looks more lived in and realistic, which I think adds such a nice little quirk to it. So I'm super excited about that. Also, decorating all of these has been so much fun, and I love decorating, and our mod pack specifically has so many different decorative pieces in it, and I am just living my decor dream over here. I did want to point out about this balcony that I'm currently working on. I guess not me, Rubber ended up changing at one of our most recent streams to be a little bit functional, because we used Copycat. I believe it was the panels there, and pretty much it just puts it down to where you can make whatever type of shape you want. So we did a flat one, and you could put whatever block texture you want it to look like. But because technically you're putting a block on top of another block, you can't place stuff. So Rubber ended up fixing that and making it functional, so my balcony actually does go out to that full extra block, which makes it huge. It's a really big balcony. So I ended up putting a whole bunch of little plants and telescopes and stuff like that. I am still planning on doing my tour soon. I'm just at the point where I'm do I want to build more so that there's more to the tour, or do I want to decorate fully the town so then there's more visual stuff to look at rather than just my builds? And I think we're gonna do that, because after seeing all of my builds with all the decor in front, I think it is just adorable. And like I said, it adds so much personality to it, and I think that it just is a nice little quirk to have, So I think I'm gonna record the little speed build, speed tour, server tour, all that once it's all decorated and everything. People are also kind of getting the groove of building right now in their places, so I want them to be able to get to a point as well where they're happy to show it off. I also really like being able to show off how indecisive I am with these builds. I really think it's funny, and this one, because it was so hard for me, I just took down and rebuilt it so many times. And I think that it's realistic, you know? I think I said this in my last speed build too, that it's never just a one and done. For some people it is, but I feel like those people just have one of those natural innate talents that they can just do it, you know, they can visualize it. And I used to be better at doing that, and then I got to a point where I'm like, I need to see it physically. I need to walk around with it. I need to experience it as if I was this villager or this player living in this house to really see if I liked the way that it felt. Because I feel like there's some stuff that looks weird, but it like works better in the game, and there's some stuff that looks better, but in the game it's kind of stupid and doesn't really work. And I try to find a nice little middle ground, because some of these builds are definitely weird, wonky shapes, but even though they're weird, wonky shapes, I try to, with the decor on the inside or on the outside, make it make sense. And I always try to have the windows at the correct height, which was one thing with that castle in the background was so fucking hard, and I am still struggling with it, is actually having windows in all the rooms, because I feel like a room, when it doesn't have windows, it feels very dungeony almost, and I feel like you need to compensate with so much extra atmospheric details, which we have the capabilities of doing because this is modded, but it still is just one of those things that just takes so long. And it's like, if there was just a window there, it would be all done and it would be easy. But I feel like in building this entire village, I've kind of taken on the challenge of not being able to do anything easy. So there's that. I also do need some ideas for some more like buildings around, because we have a few shops that I know I want to do. We have our bakery and we have our little cheese shop, but I also want to add a pizza shop because we have a pizza mod. I also want to add some like clothing stores. I want to add a little merch store. I also want to make like a little wedding shop. I feel like that's like a cool little niche thing that would be in a village like this. But I need some other ideas. I know we're gonna have like a winery or vineyard. I think a little apothecary might be kind of cool, but I don't quite know if the vibes really fit this village is the only thing. I also have been loving playing with all the music for these, and I really hope that you guys have been enjoying it too. I know some of them are a little bit epic and cinematic, but I think it's just awesome. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. I worked really hard on this build, even though it's small and tiny. A lot of these builds have a lot of thought that goes into it, and it really does take time and dedication. So I hope you guys find some inspiration in it.